producing this
And
right
we're
now?
live.
Oh, we're live.
We're running. Restless Road on the podcast.
Woo!
Third time's the charm. This is the third time we've scheduled this. We've had a million scheduling conflicts come up, and I never thought it would happen. I never thought we'd see the light of day
No.
of Restless Road in the studio, but I'm thrilled here at the Chase studio. How you guys doing? You guys doing good?
We're so good.
You guys look fantastic.
So do
Thank
you.
you.
Always, you guys look like characters of yourself all the time. It's unbelievable.
That's the goal every day when we wake up. You know, you got to find out. You got to be yourself, your character.
I want to
Choose
look
your
back.
fighter.
I want to look back every year and kind of think like I'm an impersonator of my previous self.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, that would be. You should have seen my hair like 2 years ago. That
Yeah, it was
was
long,
that was
actually.
goofy. That was really.
Why'd
goofy.
you cut it?
Just didn't look good. You know, it was one of those things. You know, like your mom and your dad will like show you pictures from the '80s and be like, "What was I doing?" That's how I feel like a year, like away.
It's
from
really hard to pin down a look for us. We feel like we change our look so much. I
Yeah.
feel like most bands do, right? Is that a band thing?
I think that keeps it
Yeah.
exciting
Yeah,
as
it
a
just
thing.
keeps it
But
fresh.
what's because I feel like Colton's kind of got
I've
he's
grown
pretty
into
locked
it. I've
in.
grown
you've grown
into it.
I don't want to say I don't know if calling you the redneck is offensive, but you've
No.
grown into the redneck character a
There
little
we
bit.
go. I'm okay with being that guy.
And I think Zach has grown into the heartthrob.
he
the-
has. You're
a-
nailing him.
I'll take it.
Zach is kind of the heartthrob. You're a little hard to pin down. You're kind of a wild card.
That's
Dude,
That's
they-
literally what we call him.
Do you call him the
We
wild
call him
card?
wild
Dude,
card.
they literally say that about
Oh my
me.
God.
He
That's
has
so
a lot of
good.
nicknames.
Garrett's a little bit of a wild
Ballpark.
card.
You
But-
just never know.
You never know.
He can do
He could-
backflips.
No, you can't, can you?
He
Yeah,
can.
I mean,
Oh,
I can't
shit.
do it in here.
This is
It's
a
too
tight
small.
studio.
No, this
Yeah,
is tight space.
maybe I'll send you a video.
Can we go outside afterwards?
Well,
and do
I'll
it?
do one
Yes.
for you outside. Yeah,
As the credits
full
roll.
cowboy
Um,
boot.
in the cowboy boot.
Yeah, I
yeah.
can do it in the boots.
We've been trying to get him to do it during the show, but he won't do
Holy
it.
crap! Why would Garrett? Why would you not do it during the show?
Well, where am I supposed to do it?
On the stage?
No, on the stage. for our show.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. It's like if I nail it, it would be really cool, right? Like it'd be cool. But if I don't,
You could say that about
It would
anything
still
in
go
life, man.
viral, dude. If you don't, honestly,
guess-
it would go more viral if you don't nail it.
like, what if I broke my neck and
win-win.
then I like was dead or something?
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yes.
You can
I'm-
go to bed at night knowing you tried.
Well, I probably won't go to bed. I'll be dead after I break my neck from hitting a backflip on stage.
Here's the thing: just practice it, and you'll nail it. People do backflips on cue in the circus, in theater.
Exactly.
But
you
it's
could
what's-
absolutely
I wouldn't
perfect
be.
it.
I wouldn't be scared if it wasn't for the boot, though. The boot adds a lot of unnecessary weight to my rotation speed, and that's what really could throw it
I think
off.
you're just making excuses.
No, like if I had no shoes on, I would hit a backflip anytime.
I can't.
I'm
Is this
exhausted
what
with
it's
the
always like with
excuses.
Garrett?
It
Is
is.
this a constant?
This is
it
wild.
Just
This is
constant
why he's wild
excuses?
card.
I can't take it.
Spoiler alert, another nickname.
Hey, I heard it was your birthday. Was it yesterday or 2
Yes.
days ago?
Oh, 2 days ago, yeah.
2 days ago. Here, so I brought some cupcakes into the studio.
Oh,
Right here. Here we go.
Oh, we thought that was your takeout.
No,
Oh my
and
gosh.
He was like ruining my whole shtick. He was like, "Let me move the takeout."
I
was
knew
like,
it.
Don't touch my takeout.
You
so here we go.
didn't
So
know it.
everyone, no one has to eat it because you guys are fit. You probably don't do sugar.
No, I do.
it was
But
a takeout,
you
fake
do?
out.
It takes a lot to
Here.
get this dad bod.
Everybody, take a cupcake.
I
Pass
love
them
it.
on.
Oh.
Can we do a little rendition of Happy Birthday?
Yeah,
Because
we
you guys
can.
are really
Let's,
big at. You guys are big harmonizers,
All right,
right?
Garrett, hit him with it. Pick
Can
a
we-
key.
Pick a key right
Pick a
here.
key, any key.
Uh,
All right, here we go.
I might jump in too on the melody.
Hit it.
Can I jump in here?
Zach, are you going to sing or
We'll
are
see
we
what
singing
happens.
to you?
I
Okay,
want to
here
do
we
the. I'm gonna do the third part.
You do the
I'm
third
gonna
part. You
jump
take
in
the-
with you
all
guys.
right,
Take
you
a
be
look.
you.
I don't-
You
I-
do
I have
the
a
high
hard-
harmony.
New and
Actually, you
improved
are
Zach.
Zach. Yeah,
Wait,
Zach.
can you do the low
I
harm?
want to jump it on with you guys. Can
All right,
I
here
do
we
the
go.
melody?
All
right,
Happy.
we're
I'm gonna sing
ha-
wherever you start, and I want you to take the harmony because I can't hear
Okay,
harmony.
you
So
take- you take the high and I'll
starting
take the
key is
low.
okay, so
happy
birthday to.
Okay, what's your
All right.
part? We gotta go. We
Do
gotta
we-
stop.
do we have
the high
this?
part?
So it'd be
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zach. Oh, I like that. That was a good addition. Happy birthday to you. That wasn't bad, actually. That wasn't bad. Have you guys ever thought about a fourth member?
We
of
honestly should.
Restless Road.
Yeah. Well, I think we could talk about it.
I'm a Yankee from New York, so I feel like I'd bring a whole new element.
I feel like I was lost in that
We
moment.
we need someone from the north. From beyond the wall.
Happy
Oh, that's
birthday.
good.
Is that good? Give me one. Pass a cupcake down.
good.
Okay, you can have mine. I gotta
Is
keep
that-
my girlish figure intact.
Let me get a quick bite of this before we dive in. Very
That's
unprofessional to
so
be eating on the
good.
radio show. Is it good? Here we go. We're gonna go in with a quick bite here.
I mean, ASMR is a hot market right now.
That's good, like icing.
Really good. So, wow.
I know.
Really good. All right, let's get these out here. Here, can we
Impressed.
strike the cupcakes?
Wow.
Impressed.
One more bite. One more. Hold on.
One bite. Here we go. Last bite, and then we gotta get serious because Restless Road's in the studio, and we need to break it down. Here we go.
Oh my God, that was so good. Wow.
Wow, really good. Wait, you just
Everybody
trashing
just-
the studio?
Everybody just chew into the mic.
Oh my God. So what happened yet? Okay, so last night we have a lot to talk about here. Okay, food break's over. Last night we were at the Geodis Stadium singing the national anthem for the soccer game. Did you guys do it a cappella? Because I was trying to watch.
Yes.
Acapulco, dude.
Was it fully? Here's what I want to know, because sometimes, like, do you guys know the band Home Free?
Yeah.
So Home Free, this is a dirty secret about Home Free, is in their in-ears, they're actually hearing, like, piano and melody to keep everything tight.
Oh.
Wait, what? That's genius.
I swear to God. And
Genius.
you guys were wearing in-ears. So do you have any reference pitch in your in-ears?
No.
Or is it
I-
truly a cappella?
I mean, I normally like to start it off. Like I'll give. Like I had my phone and had a piano app, and I just knew the key that we were supposed
He
to hit.
loves that app. That
So
piano
you're
app.
Yeah.
you have
ding,
your
ding,
phone.
ding, 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 and then that's our starting pitch, and then from there we're off to the
Well, you
races.
know what? Actually, what was funny was because they told us the camera was gonna come on. So like, obviously, you don't want the phone like ding, ding, dinging. So
That's a
a
horrible
few
look.
seconds before he ding, ding, dinged it, and then we were just all looking at each other, going ding, 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 ding. And then
So
when the camera
sensible.
came on, I was like, ding. Oh, say.
How important is it to get that note? Because it's a
Well,
rangy,
a song like
it's
the
It's
anthem.
so rangy. And then we added like this little bit of flavor to the end and take it even to a higher part. So honestly,
Yeah.
I think that was our peak. So if we would have even went slightly above that, it would have probably been disastrous.
I think a lot of people know. If you don't, the national anthem, one of the hardest songs to sing.
brutal.
And
Yeah.
just if you're a solo artist, but if you're three people and you got to think of the parts, someone's headquarters is telling me I got
Your
some
little
cupcake on
tooth
my
is
mouth.
sticking
Another
out.
one right there.
Do you have a little cupcake on your mouth?
Well,
No,
Oh.
it's his little tooth. That don't. It's not the.
Don't talk about my little tooth.
But so wait, so okay, so you literally on your phone were hitting the note, and then
Yeah.
with your in-ears, is that
no, there's nothing. There's
It's
nothing.
just so we
It's
can
just
hear
our-
each other.
each other.
It's just so it blocks the sound out from like when you don't want to hear the outside world as much. You want to be hearing
Well,
each
and it's
other.
when you're doing it in like arenas or stadiums like that, the slap back is so bad. So like you'll sing it and then you'll hear your voice like 2 or 3 seconds later. So it's like if you don't have in-ears or something to keep it in, it would be miserable.
rough.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be hard.
It's always weird because people don't really get that when you're on stage, you don't hear in front of the stage. Like I don't think people who have never worn in-ears,
Right.
they don't really get. I don't really even understand it fully what's happening in your ears. But so you're hearing yourself. But who comes up with the arrangement? Because you guys really took it to some cool places. From what I saw online, it looked like a really great rendition of
Got to
the song.
give it to
That's
Colton.
cool.
Colton.
Yeah.
You know, Colton in our band really is. He's very musical. He always has
Thank
really
you.
good ideas. And that was I have to give that to him. I learned it from you. There was the base of it. I think Zach could tell you better.
We
but
pretty much kept it how it is until the very end. We added just on 2 different lines, just a little bit of flavor. And because with the anthem, we were talking about this. It's an opportunity to really go big and do something cool. But a lot of people you've seen try to do too much, so you don't want to do that. But I think we found a really good sweet spot. And I'm sure as we do it more, we might make some changes to it. But we kept it relatively normal until the end. We had a
Yeah. Go
Kinda
big.
sense
at
it.
the
yeah,
end.
you got to just add a little bit of
Yeah.
your own, but you don't want to. It's the way it is for a reason. It's epic in general. So.
Yeah, it doesn't need so much done to it.
Right,
And
so-
they give you guys jerseys too, right?
We did. We
Yeah.
got jerseys. Yeah.
That is a sweet gig singing the national anthem at Geodis Stadium. What did you say? You made a redneck joke about Geodis.
It was
Stadium. What
redneck
did you
work.
say?
Word of the day. Geodis.
Geodis, don't Geodis man some money? We have a lot of redneck words of the day. We like to think of funny things, but I don't know.
Man, I love that. Man, it looked like a great rendition. I wish I could have been there. Nobody invited me. Joey should have invited me to the anthem.
Dang.
It's all Joey, our manager's
I
fault.
would've shown
It's
up.
all his fault.
So here's what I'm trying to understand, because I'm trying to get the backstory here of Restless Road.
Okay.
And I think at this point it's sort of become an old wives' tale. You know how you guys came together. Is that? Can I say that, an old wives' tale?
Yeah.
Don't cancel me. I don't know if that's appropriate to say.
I don't even know what that means,
Wait,
but I think
is
it's
it-
cool.
Did
Is
you-
it-
I thought it was Wise Tale.
I think
No,
it was wives' tale. It is wives'
No,
tale.
no,
Is
no,
it wives' tale?
No, I think it's wives.
I think it's wives' tale.
It's an
right?
old wives' tale.
Wait,
okay.
what?
Tell me if I'm wrong. We can Google this, but from what I understand, what I would
Wives.
think an old wives' tale, because it would be. I thought it was wives getting together and gossiping
Gossip.
about things that they've heard.
See,
an old
that's what
wives'
I'm
tale.
worried you can't say anymore.
No, but
it is an old wives' tale.
No,
supposed
it's
to-
about
Oh
it's
my
about
gosh,
wives
I've
hearing things and getting
always
together and
said that
talking about
wrong.
it.
It is an old wives' tale. Is a supposed truth, which is actually superstitious, said to be sometimes urban legend passed down by an older woman to a younger generation is what the saying is. I don't know if we can say that anymore. I think an old person's tale is
I don't know, but
What?
that is why it's from people like hearing things and talking about it, and then they tell you they pass it on.
I also didn't know it. Yeah, there's been multiple times. I'm the king of using words or using phrases that are wrong, and they don't mean that. Yeah, and one that I didn't know for a long time was Garrett always says he says buck naked, and I was like, wait, it's not butt naked.
No, it is butt naked.
It's
up for
buck.
debate.
It could it could be either, but I've heard. But
It's buck wild.
It is not
but
buck
butt
naked.
naked.
no,
Are
it's
you-
buck
hold on.
naked. It's
No,
buck
it is.
naked.
It
Yes.
is not buck
It's not
naked.
butt naked.
It is. That's what
What?
apparently. Yeah,
It's buck naked.
No, it is not.
Yep. It's
It
not
is
butt-
naked.
that's what I've always
What?
said.
No, it's buck naked.
Maybe
I'm-
it's a north and south thing. But
I can't Google
I'm
either
like,
of these. Nothing's come up. I'm telling
what
you.
was the other one that I said though?
You said something so wrong the other day. I don't know.
It
No,
is
yeah,
not
Colton-
buck naked.
Colton
You're
defi-
from West Virginia.
No,
you're
no,
from
no,
West
I'm from
Virginia.
Alabama.
You're from Alabama. This is an Alabama
Here's
thing.
the thing, though.
buck naked.
I'm with him though. I've been corrected. People have told me it's buck naked, but I've always said butt naked.
It's butt naked, right?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Jack, do you have an opinion on this?
I think it's butt naked and it's buck wild, right? It's
Well, no,
Well,
no.
everybody
but
knows
look
buck
it up.
wild.
Somebody Google this. It's
I'm trying to
think-
Google it right now. I can't find. It is butt.
okay. I have to.
It is older, the older term, but butt naked.
I have to tell.
Buck naked.
Well, so it's
Mar-
essentially the original term was buck naked, but then as you know, we just started progressing. We just didn't like butt, so we used butt.
I've got right here. So this is the Merriam-Webster dictionary. While both buck naked and butt naked are used to describe someone who is fully nude, buck naked is the older of the pair. Butt naked is much newer. What the frick is buck naked? What
Well,
does that
I don't
mean?
even know
the
what it
only
means.
thing I can think of is like a deer, right? And maybe somebody looked at that and thought that deer doesn't have clothes on. But then you'd have to beg the question: no animals have clothes on, so
Sure.
why
Is
would
this
you
horse
think-
naked?
Why would
Is
you?
this
yeah,
cow naked? Is
why
this
would-
rooster naked?
Duck naked.
another good question.
naked.
You know this
me
water.
another good
This
question.
water I'm drinking is lukewarm. Who the hell is Luke?
Who is Luke? and why was lukewarm? This is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Is it lukewarm? Because we're gonna fire the interns if it is. It's supposed to be ice cold.
No,
If you
why
get
is
the ice-
lukewarm?
Listen, I actually prefer my water lukewarm.
Take it
Room
away.
temperature.
Ice cold. Who is ice? I don't know.
I had a cup of Joe.
Who is
Who's
Joe?
Joe?
Who the hell is
Who
Joe?
is Joe?
Who was the first average Joe?
Who is Joe?
Who actually? Who is
When you're
that?
sitting on the John, who the hell is John?
Okay, we're moving on.
Oh
here.
my God.
This whole butt naked, buck naked thing in the wives' tale, it's blowing me up. But here's the point I want to make. The wives' tale about Restless Road is that Colton, you posted a video online.
Okay.
Kane Brown finds the video and he reaches out to you. He says he's starting a publishing company, he's starting this venture, and he's looking for someone to sign. So he reaches out to you. And you say you did this very noble thing because if I were you, I would have thrown the band. You know, I would have run the bus over the band. I would have said, screw the band. This is about me. I'm a solo artist, and I'm going to sign with Kane Brown. But you said, no, I'm getting the band back together. These are my boys.
I'm not good enough on my own.
What are you talking about, though? I feel like all three of you genuinely
No, honestly, okay,
could be
so
great on your own.
You got to know like the whole backstory
What do I have to
and
know?
the reason why all this happened. So I was when Zach and I were on the TV show. I was
You were both on X Factor
9
both
years ago.
9 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got some things to talk about this. But
so
yeah.
we came in fourth place, and at that point in time, I had been in Nashville working for a long time. Before all this, like 4 years prior to this, and then when I got off the show, I went on the show as a solo artist. So in my mind, I was like, oh well, I have already built so much of this kind of thing. So I ended up leaving the group, but it was the biggest regret. I hated that I did that. And after
that you left the group?
that I left the group. I should have given it more time. So that was me and Zach stayed in touch, and Zach used to always send me demos, and I was like, God, man, I just love what Restless Road, like when Zach and I.
Because you were out for like 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah, I was gone for that long, but I mean, when Zach and I started it, we had this idea of like 3 lead singers. Like this was what we wanted the band to be, and then we all wanted to come together and sing. And I just really believed in what the group stood for and what like that could be. And so I just really kind of beat myself up over it for years that I didn't give it longer. And so then when this opportunity arose, the guy who replaced me Actually, fun fact, he produced Growing Old with You, Bar Friends, Headlights,
Oh, wow.
Hometown Tonight. So he produced
We still
all
live
this.
with him too. Me
And
Zach.
he was the guy who replaced me. Well, he left again in 2018, and so they weren't really doing anything. And so when Kane reached out to me, I was like, this is the perfect time, because at this point in time, and y'all know, I mean, being a male artist and even being a female artist right now in country music, the market is really somewhat oversaturated. There's so many people coming in. But if you think of how many groups that you can name that are really doing it at a big level, there's not a lot. And so we all just thought, I mean, this was the perfect time to do this. So I hit Zach and Garrett up, and we just hit the ground running. And it was something that, but I'll tell you, everything leading up to that happened how it was supposed to, because where Zach sent me all those demos, our first EP that we put out with One Step Ahead and It Ain't Easy and All the Girls, those were all songs that Zach and Garrett and the old version of Restless Road had all wrote. And so when I came into the picture, I was such a fan of these songs. There was no like having to learn or jump back, or, like try to figure out all these things. I knew the harmonies, I knew the melodies, and they were so familiar with it. So that's why I feel like we were able to kind of make this big, massive jump, like right back into things, and then go from there to, I mean, just like Scott, like just taking off.
And didn't people tell you guys that there couldn't be a band in country music that had 3 lead singers? Like, who's telling you this?
Yeah. A lot of times it's producers or record label people, because I think they're thinking it's going to be harder to, and maybe it is, but maybe it's harder to brand it when it's like you got to brand not just one person. That's kind of easier to think about when you got 3 different people and personalities and whatever. It's more to take on and to get across to people. So it's honestly, it is harder in some ways, but like, I don't know, I feel like it's something unique. So we just felt like we wanted to make our strength, not a
Right.
weakness.
Is it really, like, to me it seems like it shouldn't be that hard, because like if you look at something like Rascal Flatts, I feel like, you know, Joe Don, Gary, and
Jay.
DeMarcus. Sorry, Jay, if you hear this. You're a very valid member of the band. I feel like they all have very equal branding across, right? Like,
Yeah, but
or even like Brooks and Dunn. Like,
the thing that makes it tough though is when, like, the thing is when you hear Kane Brown come on the radio, or you hear Luke Combs come on the radio, or Luke Bryan or Jason Aldean, immediately you hear their voice and you go, that's them.
That's
That's them. But
They
when
have
you
that
have
thing,
3
yeah.
different voices, it makes it a lot tougher, because the thing is that one song may start off with Zach taking the first verse. The next song may start off with me taking the first verse. So if it's always changing, then if you're not super, super familiar with Restless Road, you may go, huh, who is this, from one song to another? Like, it may not. And we've tried to, like, we've done, like, Garrett primarily takes the chorus on everything. Zach has tended to take the first verse on a lot of things, and I've tended to take the second. And we're still learning. We're still trying to figure out what is the most recognizable way for us to come across every single time. And it's something that I feel like we'll probably always be chasing that and trying to figure out. But at the same time, the bigger you get, the more recognizable you come. No matter if you have 3 people, if you have 1 person or 4, it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, I think, because I think Old Dominion's a really good example of this. If you see any one of them out, even though a lot of them don't sing,
they're all
recognizable.
You all go, oh, that's the guy from Old Dominion.
Exactly, and
Right.
that's
Yeah.
because they've just, the bigger that they've got. So the difference is, for us, we're just trying to brand voices versus just our looks and who we are. So when people see us out, we want them to recognize us by each one of our voices too. So yeah, it's a little bit different.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like that's what you'd have to think about, right? Is like how actually, now that you bring it up, I think it's a good point that you do have to kind of brand the voices. That's the difference, is that it's hard to know what a Restless Road song is if you're hearing it for the first time. If you're not super caught up with the band,
Right.
you might hear, like, you know, Garrett might be singing the verse, and you might go, wait a second, normally Zach sings the first verse. What is this? I'm freaking out, right?
Right.
Like, it is a little tricky to brand,
And
actually.
with people's short attention spans these days, you know, online, if you're trying to share or promote something, you might have 10 to 15 seconds, a window to get their attention. And it's like, how do you get Restless Road in all 3 of our voices and all 3 of us in a video in 15 seconds or however long it is.
You split it up into three
So-
5-second increments. I think if my math's correct, that's how you would do that. No, I'm kidding.
So wait, so Kane Brown reaches out to you.
Yeah.
He says, I got this new thing. And you say, I want to do this with Restless Road. I'm getting the band back together. And then you I've heard this story. You bring them, basically the band goes to what, Martha Earl's office?
Yep.
Yep.
And you're sitting in Martha Earl's office and you just sing or you just play
Well, what was crazy is I remember, so I joined the band after the show, right? Like, I watched these two guys on X Factor, and I was a big fan. So I joined in, like, 2015.
Yeah, hold on there for a second, because you guys DM'd him, and
Yep.
you were just like, hey, why him? Why called? He's the wild card. Why?
Look at him.
Why Garrett? Why Garrett? I called you Colton.
At the time, it'd be funny today because today with TikTok, you can get on there and see like hundreds of young guys, wannabe country singers or whatever that
so
could
they're all
potentially
so
be in a band.
desperate.
Want to be wild
Yeah,
cards,
but back then, like trying to find someone in our age range who sang country who would also be willing to be in a group but didn't have so much going for themselves that they're like, no, I already got my own thing. It was hard to find that like perfect person, and Garrett was like our third or fourth option after the other guys. But luckily,
Wait, is that true?
No. Garrett was number one. He's always been number one. But he had
Except for the other guy. And
he had a YouTube. He had a Vine with 6 seconds. So I ended up stumbling across something on one of those, and I kind of just dug through his videos, and I thought he's like, I think I figured out you were 18. I was like, okay, he's a couple years younger than us, but better to start him young. So basically,
Let him grow into
Let
it.
him grow into it.
okay, so
but
they DM you.
What was crazy was, I watched them on the show, and I was a big fan. I watched the X Factor, and I thought, wow, these guys are awesome. And then about a year later, I was just sitting at my house, like putting out these YouTube videos, covers, and I was like, I want to do country music. I have no clue how to do it, but I just kind of put myself out there. And then I remember it was like 12:30 at night. I got a notification on my phone, and it said, Restless Road sent you a message. And I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. I click on it, and it was like you up ? I didn't know what that meant. No, I'm kidding. But it
Send nudes.
Yeah. I was like, oh well, okay, whatever. But no, so it was something like, hey, what's up? And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're messaging me. Why are they messaging me? Get on the phone with actually Zach, and he kind of just basically was like, hey, found your YouTube. Like, we're kind of looking for someone to join the band. Like, would that be something you want to do? And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. So I ended up flying out with my dad the next day, and I met Zach. And a couple weeks later, I joined the band. But what was crazy was I didn't. When did I meet you? So I met
2015.
you. Yeah. So around the time that I joined, we all
Y'all came to Nashville.
Yeah, we came to
and
Nashville.
they stayed. Y'all stayed at my place.
Yeah, with him and his wife, we actually stayed with Colton. That was the first time I had met him in person.
Yeah.
And so that we had only ran into each other like one or two times,
Yeah,
but
a
I
few
remember. So I didn't really know Colton really well, but when the Kane thing came up, he called me, and I remember I was working at this like graphic design place, and
we'd both kind of like, the band had broken up for like 8 or 9 months,
right?
And I think for me, I was like 5 or 6 years into it, and I was like, after another member leaves and just another switch up, I was like, I just need to hit pause on thinking about life with the band. I need to think about what life could be like outside of it. And so we both got multiple jobs, like worked at a bar, worked at a restaurant right down the road
You
here.
worked at Jack Brown's, right?
He worked at Jack
you
Brown's.
You worked at Jack Brown's.
Yeah.
Where'd you work?
A bar, Old Glory.
Oh, yeah.
And Liberty
Right
Common.
across the street from each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's another restaurant bar, Liberty Common, right down here by
Yeah.
Ascend. I worked there too. And Colton, he came into Old Glory, and I was bartending, and he comes in and says, I'm like, what are you doing in Nashville? He's like, oh, I got this meeting with Kane Brown. Like, he reached out to me. And I remember being like, oh, that's really cool. And I'm not going to lie, like, 3 weeks went by, and I almost forgot that it happened. I was like, oh, it's good. Like, it was good for you. Like, cool. And then, like, 2 or 3 weeks later, I think that's when you called up Garrett, and you called me back up. You're like, okay, after I've met with them, I've been talking, like, and it turned into, like, maybe we should all get back together.
Wait, this is a little bit of revisionist history, because the story I heard was Kane Brown reaches out to you and you said, hey, man, I'm only doing this if we get the band back together. But now it sounds like you maybe entertained going solo for a minute. Is that true?
No, so I went down with the intention of meeting with them. I didn't know what any of this
What any of it was
What
gonna
any
be.
of this, yeah.
And
because
that's when he came into the bar and was like, I got this meeting
I told him,
coming up.
yeah. And then, but so throughout this meeting, though, I kept talking about Restless Road. And honestly, here's the little nugget that honestly a lot of people don't know. And honestly, I have to credit this to Zach. I don't know honestly what probably would have happened with that meeting. So in December of 2018, I was in school, back in school, going to college, finishing up my degree, and Jared had just left. Zach was working at Gold's Gym at the time. Zach called me, and I walked out of class and sat in my car to talk with Zach. And Zach said, "Hey man, I know that like all these years, like you've kind of like regretted like leaving the group. Would you ever be interested in like maybe coming down to Nashville and like singing with us and seeing if like this thing could work?" And this was in December of 2018. Kane reached out to me in May. So, but it was just something that we never got around to doing. But that honestly, I don't know honestly what would have happened. It was in the back of my mind. It was so fresh because it had just happened. And then so I was like, well, shoot, if they were down then, surely they'd be down now. But and honestly, it took Zach, because Zach, I mean, at this point in time, he'd been the only member since 2013 who had stayed consistently the whole time. And I mean, they had been through it.
A lot of phases, a lot of bad deals, contracts, members coming in and out, a lot of rejection from labels and producers, and just and when he told me that he was meeting with Kane Brown, I was like, cool, I'm focusing on me right now. And I was actually for the first time feeling good because I was working these jobs, and I proved to myself, hey, I can actually live in Nashville and work these jobs and chase my dream and stand on my own 2 feet, because since I was 18, I feel like we've always had people like producer people or whatever like in charge of us, and that was the first time I was like 23 or 4. I was like, I'm an adult, I'm working, I'm supporting myself, I'm chasing my dream, I'm doing this on my own finally. And then when it came up like, oh, maybe we should get into business with Kane and everybody, I was like,
you were so
just
hesitant.
and just really
because you didn't want to get false hopes. Or you just thought,
yeah,
we had so many of those
just
before.
over the years. I just there's so many people like this that are like, who are gonna be like, oh, dude, I did this, and that, and I can connect you here and there.
And they never do.
Hey, dude,
well, I mean, you've heard
names
it.
always come up.
Yeah,
like we heard Kane, and it's like had that been in 2015,
like,
we would have been over the moon.
was
But it's
just-
like we've heard a million times.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
so and so heard
Yeah.
your band, and they think you're great, and we
It's
were like,
like,
oh my
great.
god, and then that
Yeah.
all these things fell through.
I was
so
just
it
kind of
one those
sick. I was in a
things.
mindset where I was like just sick of like depending on other people to like help carry our career forward. But the truth is at some point, no matter what, you can't do this alone anyways. And I just have to say, 3 years into this, like Kane Brown and Martha and our manager Joey and Nikki and all of them, no one has ever just stuck up for us and like had our back like they have. Like it's seriously like, I really do think it's just a huge, just a blessing. It's just, I don't know, it's just awesome. And
Well, we went in. I remember we.
but I
went,
was hesitant at first.
You were, but we went into that meeting, and I remember Joey and Martha. Kane wasn't even there for the first meeting, and because he was in there when all three of us came, but I was just in there meeting with Martha and Joey, and they were kind of laying everything out, that like this plan, the different things that they like had in place that they were wanting to do, and it's like in the perfect world, all that sounds so good. But
you
it's
guys
like,
have been through
yeah,
it.
but it's like
Yeah.
at that point in time, you've heard it, and it's like, is it really going to happen? Like, yeah, it's good intentions and those kind of things. But we gave, like, I mean, we ended up doing this, and it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything, honestly, like that happen. And it's so funny. I love doing these things because there's a lot of people I feel like that just look at us and they go, oh, they're a product of Kane Brown in the past. But it's like, no, we've been doing this in Nashville. I mean, coming up, not for 10 years almost that we've been a band and that we've been like doing this. And so there was so much that went into it, but it was a good thing it didn't happen when we got off the X Factor, because we would never be where we're at today. We would have just imploded. It would have been awful. Yeah. Like we had to go through a lot of learning phases, some growing up individually.
I
and
remember
all
after
that.
X Factor, we came here because actually the label that we're on now, Sony, when we were on the X Factor, Sony had the first right to work with us and sign us. And so, like, literally a month after the show, we're just on fire. We're like, holy crap, we have all these followers. Everybody knows who we are. Like, it's only up from here. And and I remember we go to the record label, and we sit down, and we sang, like, 3 songs acoustic. And we could not sing back then anywhere close to like where we can sing. Like I
And
don't
two of them were covers.
Two of them were covered. We sang a Thomas Rhett song.
Yeah, right.
And we sang another song we sang on the show. And then we sang an original song that Colton had written that we kind of just like threw together like a couple days before just to have something original.
And this was pre-Garrett?
I wasn't there.
Pre-Garrett.
Yeah, pre-Garrett.
Yeah.
And they just completely rejected us. And then like shortly after that, like when Colton left, we were just like, we had literally no clue what to do. And we even had like these meetings with these producers here. I know... it's not time to say it. Jeff Stevens produces Luke Bryan. We worked with him.
Yeah.
And I'm actually so glad he said this.
Yeah,
and I literally cannot wait to meet him or run into him again. But we like recorded these songs with him right after the X Factor. It took me like 6 or 7 hours just to sing one harmony part. So embarrassing. And I just remember afterwards he sat us down and he just goes, "This is never going to work.
Wow,
This
really?
is never going to work."
But that was, I mean, that's
He's like, "Y'all aren't like a band. Y'all aren't like don't have it going on right now." And I remember I hated hearing that. I was like,
Do you think he was right, though?
I've had a lot, you got to be somewhat naive, I think, if you want to be an artist in general. You can't doubt yourself too much. So I probably thought he was wrong at the time. Now, today, I'm telling
Oh
you,
my
he was
gosh.
1,000% right.
Yeah.
And we even had another meeting with this guy, Paul Worley. He produced, I think, some of the biggest like Lady A songs.
Yeah.
And so we sat down and went with him and sang acoustic. And him and his partner were there, and they just the first thing they said after we were done singing was, How long a day do y'all practice for again?
I'm telling you, we were that bad.
So
We were that bad.
Anything's possible, and it's like, honestly, sitting here today, like I think we have good voices, but
Yeah,
like
great
we are
voices.
not like I could throw a rock and hit 10 people who could sing better than us.
Yeah.
In this town, especially, and it's like, it's just not all. It's very important. It's very important, but it's not all about that, and there's a lot of other factors. So like, if you're like not the best singer yet, you can work on that, but there's so many other factors to, I think, being successful. But anyways, my whole point was just that we sucked ass. Honestly, we just were horrible.
It was really bad.
It
Wait,
was
so
bad.
I want to come back to this, but I want to get Garrett's story on record. So basically, going back, so they DM you. I think it's cool that your dad was like, "Screw it, let's just fly out the next day," right?
Yeah,
Isn't that kind of weird?
I actually got really upset because what really happened too was like, so I got this DM. I freak out. I like don't finish my homework because I'm like, oh, I don't know what they
He
want.
wasn't going to finish.
I wasn't going to finish it anyway, but especially because Restless Road reached out to me, it was not going to finish it anymore. So I talked to Zach for like 10 minutes. He's like, "Can you fly out tomorrow?" And this is all news to me. I'm like, well, this is crazy.
What was the urgency?
Well, I don't know. It was just convenient. They had a few days off. They had time to meet, and it was kind of like they wanted to, get a new member ASAP, I guess. And he had found me. I don't know. And so I go. It's 1 a.m. at this point. I go and wake my dad up. He gets up at 5 a.m. or really like 4:30. He's getting ready for work. So I wake him up at like 1 o'clock, and I shake him. He's disoriented. I'm like, "Dad, this Restless Road group. You remember we saw him on the X Factor?" He's like, "What? I'm like, "We got to go meet them. They are potentially wanting me to like come try out for the band. Can we fly there?" And my dad's like, "No, go to bed. I don't know what." Like he completely blows me off. Goes right back to bed. So I stay up all night. I'm pissed. I'm like, my dad does not understand. Like I've got to go talk to him. So
This is Restless Road.
yeah, I'm like he obviously doesn't know what this means. Like
These guys have been told by every producer that
Yeah.
they suck.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a big deal.
Meanwhile,
to
meanwhile,
me-
we're over here just saying.
to me, I'm starstruck. I'm like, my dad has to know. So I stay up all night. I'm like, I'm thinking of my pitch to my dad. Like, we have to go do this. So I catch him when he's about to leave for work at like 5 a.m. and I go, "Dad," I'm like, "I'm pissed. Like, we have to go do this." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "The thing I told you last night when I woke you up." He had no recollection of me waking him up. I actually tell him again. I explain, like, this is a really big deal. This is what I've been wanting to do. So he hops on the phone with, I guess, Zach again. Zach kind of explains what this is or whatever. And my
And
dad's
were you
cool.
thinking, "Oh God, I got to deal with a dadager"? Like, and now I'm talking to his
No,
dad.
no,
Well,
his
I had
dad's a
just
total
turned
G.
18. I just
Oh,
had
you were
turned 18,
young.
so
Yeah,
like I was like damn near a minor, like basically. I mean, I wasn't,
Yeah,
but
right,
I
right.
was.
Yeah.
I had just like turned 18, so I wasn't like I was living with my parents.
No, it was the responsible thing to do.
Right.
He
so
had, yeah.
once I told him and explained, he came around and my dad took off work, and I mean he immediately was all about it, and And I mean, even a couple weeks went by, and then they called me and said I was in the band, and I was supposed to go to college. Like I was either going to go to like Alabama or MTSU up here. I'd been accepted to both, and but my parents were really supportive. They were like, "Hey, this is what you've always talked about," and they said, "Hey, you know, college will always be there for you. Like, go join this band. This is a big deal. Like, give it, 5 years. You try it. And if you're 22 years old and it doesn't work out, you've said you've tried your dream. You gave it everything you have, and like you can always go back to school." So, got a shout out to my parents. They were always super supportive.
Shout out to all of our parents, because
Right.
I know all of us, like, we have just the most supportive parents, and
Right.
I just know we wouldn't be here without them.
But yeah, it was crazy, and I remember the first time because like you said, it was Jared, the old guy, the old member after Colton. He was
The old guy.
It was Jared and Zach at this point. So I didn't know Jared as much, but I knew Zach because I'd seen him on the show, and I knew Colton, but I didn't meet Colton at that time. But I remember walking in and I looked at Zach and I was like starstruck, which is really funny here today because I feel like we're so close. Like, well, all of us are close, but especially I've known Zach. Like, I just think back to when I met him for the first time. Like we're so close and we're friends. We're like brothers, and I know all these funny things about you, about me. But I just remember walking in and seeing you in person, and I was like, "Oh my God,
It was a big deal.
it's freaking Zach from
So
Restless."
how
Oh
did you
my God.
guys go from
Again,
being,
the heartthrob.
how did you guys go from being so bad and having every producer tell you that you guys sucked to like being like really good? Was it just repetition?
Well, you know what
Gotta
was crazy?
hammer it out.
You know what was crazy was like for me, I will even tell you this too. When I joined the group, like I had never really played shows. Like I had played like little restaurants and stuff in my town, but I'd never played like a proper show or anything. Like I just was a kid singing on YouTube, and I remember I was super not like confident in my ability or whatever. Like I was, but I didn't know how to be in a group. I didn't know like how to be an artist. Like this was all new to me. And I remember one funny thing that was so crazy was I was trying to sing these harmony parts, and I really wanted to impress Zach and Jared at the time. I wanted to like be good because I was like, they put me in this band. I want to like show out. Like I know I'm a good singer. I can do this. But I had a little bit of
Well, and
self-confidence
it's
issues.
important to say when Garrett joined the band, actually right when X Factor was over, that's when the producers told us we weren't very good, and that's when a lot of people were like, y'all just got to pick one guy to be the lead singer. And so when Colton left and Jared came in, Jared, the new guy who wasn't on the show, he became the lead singer. And me, the guy on the show, I didn't sing at all. I was a harmony singer. And then when Garrett joined, he also really didn't sing either. So we were like backup to Jared, the guy who wasn't a part of the original
right.
thing. And so, but Jared is insanely talented singer.
Crazy singer.
And he just didn't have it in his heart. He didn't want to really be an artist or a singer. He's more interested in producing, writing, and all that. So, when Garrett joined, like we were not even like.
Well, I was gonna say what was
No one
funny.
even heard us
Well,
sing.
what was funny was when I joined. So like Jared can sing really high. Like I have a really high voice as well, but I was singing over top of Jared. So I was used to singing high, like in my own voice. But harmonies were something foreign to me. I'd never sang with anybody else. But what was funny was I remember like the first day we started practicing. They're like, "Here's our songs, learn them." I'm like, "Okay." And I kept trying to go over top of Jared, and like it really like I could hit the notes, but I didn't have that confidence of like sending it, and so I would always be like, "Oh, I can't hit that" or whatever. And I remember Zach would make me get down, and he was like, "Whenever you say you can't, you're gonna do 20 push-ups." So like learning the first harmony parts, I'd be like, "Ah!" And I'd be like, "Oh, I can't do that," and they're like, "You said you can." And I remember we were like sitting there like doing push-ups, and that was like one really funny thing I remember. Of,
Did you
like,
guys ever take? 'Cause most artists in town like actually end up taking like vocal lessons when they're like. Did you ever take technical vocal
No.
lessons, or you guys just kind of
really.
figured
None of
it
us
out?
were. None of us have really been trained.
We just did one though, like a Zoom one the other
Yeah,
day.
it was awesome.
And I think it's something that we really want to do more
It
of.
opened
Honestly,
my mind up. So
just
much
even
more,
through
yeah.
Zoom, just like a couple comments about, hey, try this or try that. It can open like a link in your brain.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But the push-ups helped. It helped.
The push-ups
Obviously, I'm
really
jacked
helped.
now. I've been doing.
Obviously, you
them
can
ever
see
since.
he hasn't said I can't in a long time.
That's right.
So okay, so the current single "Growing Old with You," I actually love this song, which none of you guys wrote. Charles Kelly was a writer on the song,
Yeah.
which is very cool. Who on your team is it? The publisher, like who on your team finds the songs, like A&R,
That
or who
one-
brings this to you?
Our
That one
A&R
was
Margaret.
our A&R Margaret. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sent it to us.
Margaret
in a-
Tomlinson
Yep.
over at Sony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she sent us a pitch link middle pandemic, and yeah, that was like one of the first few songs in the link, and it was just, I mean, kind of blew us away. But it was just honestly, I mean, you know how the song is, and it really just connected to all three of us in different ways. Yeah, I mean, we knew that it was one that we just had to cut. But it's funny because that was in the middle of the pandemic, and then we didn't release this until
We kind of sat on it for
2 years almost.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was we were we're about to open up for Kane Brown, and we only had like 4 or 5 songs out, and we knew we needed new material to go on the road with Kane, so we put out some more up-tempo stuff, Bar Friends, Headlights, Hometown, Tonight, and we had Growing Old with You, but we're like, oh, we don't want to put out another slow song just yet. But then we get this call about doing The Bachelor, and we're like, holy crap, this is going to be the perfect opportunity to
You guys are
debut
Bachelor nerds. It's really
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really weird how much you guys like The Bachelor. It's
That was another thing I learned from Zach. Actually, you remember when we joined the band like that, we loved watching the reality TV. That's something we connected on. We were like, oh, I love reality TV, and then
Not
we
enough
started
drama.
watching it. So
I'm
it
not
was
gonna
like
lie though, it's been getting harder and harder
Yeah.
to watch it.
Yeah.
Why
I
you guys are busier and busier?
No, I just feel like, first of all, it's just a category like trash reality dating.
Yeah.
It's fun. Either love it or you don't. We like, the occasional fun, stupid dating show. They're fun.
They're
And
fun.
There's a lot now. It used to be like only now there's Love Island. There's all these different ones, and
Yeah.
it's like a lot of them are kind of
It's
good.
kind of getting
fun.
oversaturated. The
And now
market's a little
I don't know. There's
oversaturated.
just something about. I'm curious. They switched it up. They got 2 bachelorettes, including the girl who was on our date, Rachel, Team Rachel.
Super
And,
excited for this
Rachel.
season.
Yeah.
maybe that'll switch things up where it'll be interesting, but
Put a little extra flavor in there. You know what I mean?
But I heard that, I guess it was Joey and Martha who basically said, what do you guys want to do? Like, what are your dreams? And you guys said that you want to be on The Bachelor.
Oh yeah,
The
we had 2
Bachelor and
goals.
the Opry.
We had 2 goals. We
Because
literally
I
said
would
that.
I would be worried to speak that into existence because I would think that would be the end. Like I feel like when you say we want to play stadiums, we want to have #1 records, we want to win Grammys, seems like here is one of the biggest managers in Nashville who really can make dreams come true. I don't even think this is a joke. Like you're like Bachelor one time.
Well,
one song.
well, to me,
that's
though,
it.
the
That's
oth-
the goal. Like Joey's laughing over here because he knows I'm
These
right.
are obscure though. Those are obscure dreams. The Bachelor and the Opry.
The Opry's not so obscure. That
Well,
one,
see,
But
that
I'm
one I
saying,
do that,
but
yeah.
then when I'm like, obviously we do want to do the stadiums, and it's like we could have said that, but then I mean, would the Bachelor have ever?
I think there's 2 quantifiable
probably,
things.
honestly, probably.
The Opry was like you're saying, the Opry for us was the
It's the
career
pinnacle.
goal.
Yeah, right.
That was the attainable goal, because you're not just going to jump into stadiums. Like the Opry was something we've always grown up with. That was something we
felt
wanted
reachable.
to do.
It
That
felt
was
in reach.
that was the first step for us to being like taken seriously in the country format. That was something we dreamed of doing. We've seen all of our favorite artists play the Grand Ole Opry. That was the career goal. Now the personal goal was to be on The Bachelor. They were 2 separate kind of. It was the personal and then the
But I mean,
business.
we also had seen. I mean, being fans of The Bachelor, we've seen what it can do for an artist and a song. I mean, in general. So, I mean,
and it really has done
really
so
does.
much for Growing Old with You. I think it already on its own, it was really connecting with our fans, where we knew, hey, they really like this one. We put it out for a week, and it was the best performing song we had. And then a week of it being out, we did it on The Bachelor, and it just took it to a whole other place. And now we have so many people out there getting engaged, walking down the aisle, first dance.
Yeah, this is a big
song.
engagement song, actually.
It is.
I saw, I guess Taste of Country covered something where they like compiled all these engagement videos.
Yeah.
So there was one video of someone doing it at the CMA Fest
Yeah.
when you guys played it. I thought that was actually a bad one because I kept waiting for everyone around them to turn
nobody
around.
even
That's
paid
what-
attention.
Nobody even paid
That was
attention.
That was
one of the
scary.
big
That's-
big comments.
That's partially though that video I think has got like 11 million views on Instagram,
Really?
and it's partially because of that reason, because there's so much controversy because nobody even
cares.
paid attention.
Like I kept waiting for everyone
Yeah.
to start turning around. So that was a bust. But the other one, there was another one where you guys brought someone on stage
Yeah.
who did it. So how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah,
One was
so
my cousin.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
that one was
was
also
the one your cousin?
So one of them. So one was in Atlanta. One was my cousin's a girl. Her name's Peyton, and her boyfriend. He's been around for a long time. They've been dating for like 5 years. The song had came out. It had been on The Bachelor, and he called me, and it was actually really sweet. He called me and he said, "Hey, like I've been around for a while." Like he called every like person in my family, including me, her cousin, and was like, "Is it okay if I marry your cousin Peyton?" And I was like, I don't care. I mean, this is not my idea. But his big thing was, he said, "I love the song Growing Old With You," and she loves it. And my dream is to propose to her with that song on stage with you guys. So that was kind of one. I mean, it always kind of happens like that. It's like
Was
people
that
will
the first? I can't remember. Was that the first?
No,
It was one of.
Oh
it was
no,
one of the
Grand
early
Rapids,
ones.
Grand Rapids, and the other ones were
First time, yeah, we're on stage and just everybody
Yeah.
in the crowd's like, oh, and we're like looking. They just had gotten engaged, and we're just like,
You're
oh,
like,
we
all
gotta
right, I
bring 'em
guess
up.
it's a proposal song.
And yeah, we had another one. It was so weird as well. Someone was like,
Me?
he was. I was singing, and he was looking at me, and he's going like, I'm gonna propose.
remember that one.
And I was like, okay, and just kind of like, the other guys like.
We didn't realize that was happening, so we pulled other.
Oh
They
yeah,
pulled-
that was a flow.
They pulled. They like, is anybody in love here? Want to come
oh,
dance?
you thought it was just like, hey, let's just pull people up on stage.
Yeah, and so we had two
Yeah.
couples at the same time, and then one of them drops to the knee. The other couple's like, "What's going on here?" And then this couple, the girl's like, She's like, "What's going on?" And then I don't know if that how that went.
The couple that actually should have stayed on stage ended up getting off the stage, and the ones that didn't propose ended up dancing on
Zach,
stage.
I'd like to clarify too. So what happened too was Zach had known this was happening because the guy looked at him. I didn't see this. Well, he's walking up like the guy is, but the girl is lagging behind me, and he's already like walking up on the stage. She's still in the crowd. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we got to save this. They're not actually coming up. We got to pick someone else. And there's this other couple that was freaking out. So I'm thinking, oh, well, they may not be coming. And I'm like, you guys come up too. And then Zach's looking at me horrified, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, they aren't coming. They end up, like you said, they both come up. And then he proposes, and then I felt like
It's
a complete
because
idiot.
that one was a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
Most of the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
when
yeah.
we
I felt like an
bring
idiot.
somebody up and we
It's
do that, we
planned ahead of
know,
time.
yeah, like most of the time, like the guy reaches out to us and it's like, yeah, I'm wanting to propose.
Yeah,
so
right,
that
right.
was a kind of a wild card. So, but yeah, I
It's,
mean,
it's cool to have a proposal song where you can have that moment because I feel like it's a great moment in the show as a fan. Like whenever I've been at a show and someone proposes, you remember that it stands
Right.
out. It's a good moment
It's
in
fun.
the show. Wait, so you're married? Are you're dating someone, right?
Yeah, I've had a serious girlfriend named Taylor's for 4 years now.
4
Yeah.
years, and then what's your situation?
I've been single for a while.
He's married to the band.
So
Gosh,
does everyone
married.
come up to him on the road? The fans must know that he's the single one.
Oh,
does
yeah.
everyone ambush you on the road?
Yep.
Like women
Yep.
or yeah, like is everyone coming up to you?
yeah.
Yeah, they
that's-
do. He's not even humble
I don't
about it. They do. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
He's
trying
the,
to be-
you said it. You said it a minute ago. He's the heartthrob, dude.
He's the
I'm telling
heartthrob.
you, he's the
Everyone's
Justin
coming
It
up.
all,
Timberlake.
Yeah.
it all just funnels down to me. I'm
And
the
do
only
we ever
single
feel
one.
because Garrett's a dad, he's got kids?
No, that's
No,
Colton.
me. I'm the dad.
You're Colton. I'm sorry.
I'm the-
It's-
I'm
If
the
I
dad.
am a dad,
it's
I don't
hard to
know
keep you
about
guys
it.
straight. It really is. So Colton,
Yeah.
Colton's a dad.
Yeah.
Do we ever feel like he's slowing down? It slows him down being a dad. 'Cause
No.
you guys run wild.
Actually, Colton is
son.
kind of, I would maybe say, might be one of the most rambunctious of
We just
all.
shut down
Really?
Tin Roof last night.
Literally,
shouldn't you be with your
he-
kids? What are you
he-
doing?
Actually,
No.
the only reason that we shut down Tin Roof was because my kids and my wife had to go back to West
Colton was
Virginia
the
because we're
instigator
leaving out
last
tomorrow.
night. Me and Zach had no intention of going out, and Colton turns around and he has this evil look on his face, and he's like, "What are we doing tonight?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What are you doing?" He's like, "My kids are out of town, and I never get to go to the bar.
This
Let's go."
is-
And I'm like,
this
well,
is it.
damn, let's go.
This was it. Yeah.
This is it.
No,
Respect.
We do have a lot of fun though on tour. I mean, all of us. Definitely Zach gets the most attention, and I mean, I feel like I don't know. Me and you still have fun, no? We still have a good time.
I love going on the road. It's fun.
We honestly, mine and Garrett's
Do you
good
guys
time is
like
we.
cock block him, or will you kind of let him
No,
go?
no,
just
dude,
let him do
we're
his
the
thing.
best wingman there ever was.
You probably are actually.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
so
yeah.
good at it.
No,
I've
yeah.
always been a great
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
wingman.
let him
Garrett,
go.
honestly, really great wing.
What works for you? Like, because I think the thing is, the problem is when people come up to you on the road, it's hard to know if someone's normal or absolutely crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to have a good.
I think you could
you've
say
gotta
that
have a-
about real life in general.
No, but I think especially it shows because I think fans can be a little crazy, and when they're around people that they perceive as famous, they can freak out a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
you have to have a really good detector about who's kind of normal, who's crazy when people come up to you, right? Do you have this figured out? Like, what's a red flag? Or basically just like, she's hot. Let's
There is
go.
no such thing as a red flag.
I mean, I feel like I've been pretty well behaved on the road this year.
That wasn't the
I've
question.
been pretty well behaved.
He's avoiding the question.
Well, like, what's a red flag? I don't know. If they just are treating you like someone who, if they treat you like you're just any other person, that's a
Yeah.
good. That's
What
a good thing.
immediately draws you
Good
to
thing.
them though, right out
But
the
what's
gate?
it like?
It's
Do you guys
yeah.
usually host an after party? So is
We usually, we honestly, like, we'll finish the show and then we'll do pictures with
great.
anybody who wants to take a picture with us by like the merch table. And if we have time to stick around at the bar or the festival, whatever it is, we'll like hang we'll get drinks, we'll catch other artists play, and we'll just vibe with the people. Like we played a saloon in Colorado like a couple weeks ago, and it was like a line dance place. We shut the place down. We were just dancing with everybody. Yeah, really anything. We did like a private engagement party. There was like it was just a big family affair, and we just got in the cha-cha train. We just kick it all night with them. We like to hang.
I think everybody would say, at least I've heard on the interwebs. I think when people party with Restless Road, it is an enjoyable experience. Yeah. I think we're always down to hang. I think
I believe that.
Yeah, like when there's good times to be had, we definitely are the first to jump in, and then sometimes there's a lot of nights where just nothing goes on, and like we're not just gonna like throw a party. Like,
then we have a lot of fun eating food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're quickly running out of time, which is unfortunate because I feel like we could do two or three of these.
Let's just do it.
We'll stay as long as we can. So the Bar Friends tour just wrapped, which I saw at Exit In, and I got to tell you,
Wait, you were there?
I was there at Exit In.
My God.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to say hi. It was an unbelievable show. I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes people come to Exit In or a venue of that size and they sort of just set up and they play through everything, and it's fine, it can be good. But you guys really had like lights, you had these cues, production, everything about it was so meticulously planned out, and it was brilliant. It was an incredible show.
Thank you.
Especially for a show in a venue of that size with limited production. You guys had amazing production for as much as I think you could probably bring playing a venue like that. Was that a big conversation? Like, hey, we're doing these clubs. It's our first headlining tour, sold out. We need to elevate this a little bit. We need to bring some production onto the road, like, because not everybody does that at this level.
Well, absolutely. I feel like for us, it's like where we're at in our career, we're at this really, really important piece, like where you're trying to constantly make fans. Constantly. I mean, like when you're at Kane's level, He's got so many fans. Everybody who's showing up to watch him are a fan of Kane Brown. But where we're at, most of these shows that we're playing, there's people that still don't know.
There's a lot of winning people over.
Yeah. So it's all about like, let's put on the best show possible. And we've been fortunate enough past year to, I mean, I feel like tour was some of the best at the highest level. I mean, Kane puts on an incredible show. And one of my favorite shows to watch is Russell Dickerson. His production and just his entire show, it's so well put together. So we'll sit and soak in all that stuff, and then when it comes time, like when we were planning our first headline tour, it was, this is the kind of stuff we want. And obviously when you're first starting out, you're dealing with budget issues, and you're trying to figure out, what works, what can we do, what can we not do. But I feel, honestly, that makes me feel really good that you love the show that much. I mean, I think it's a really good representation of who we are, and I mean, I hope to just grow off of that.
Yeah, and we just want to make it fun. Like you said, like we do think about those things because I mean, people are coming and spending money that they worked really hard to, make, and they're spending money and time with us. So it's like, even from just like the harmonies and the production and the lighting and everything, like we're trying to, give people the best show that we can. And that's why, like they said, like after the show, we stay and we meet every single person, because for us, like, it's like we want to meet those people that are supporting us, like online or in person. They've showed up, they've spent their money, they've spent their time to come see us. So, that comes down to everything we do. We just want to make sure that, we're making new fans and making connections with the people that already support us.
No, I think the production and the attention to detail with the transitions, with the walk-on, with everything, I think it goes a long way. And then as it grows, is the goal or the dream or whatever, is it to grow the band? Because right now it's a guitar player and a drummer, and then everything's on tracks, which I think really works for you guys because it makes you three kind of the center of the show, especially on a little bit of a smaller stage. But when it grows, is the band going to grow?
I think so. Like I think we'll definitely add players, just given I think that we're in country music. But I will say I like your point that it does bring more focus to us, because we just saw 5 Seconds of Summer play here at Ascend. And I loved the fact we loved their whole set and like studied it, but I loved how it was just the four of them on stage. There was nothing else, and of course they're using tracks too to fill in that space. But we do love that. But at the same time, we're in a little bit of a different genre. Like I think we eventually gonna have that.
Yeah, I mean,
more instrumentalist.
Realistically, I think in the end, honestly, you catch this at a lot, primarily in country. I've noticed a lot of younger acts that are coming up. The first thing that a lot of people don't have is a bass player, and it's because bass is so easy to track. But it's funny because we played shows where there has been bass players out in the crowd, and the number one thing we get, they're like, where's the bass player? Why isn't the bass player? Next time you're in town, call me up. So I definitely think like next on our list would be a bass player, but then we want a utility player, somebody that plays fiddle, steel, banjo, a little bit of everything.
Kazoo,
so I would say
everything.
I would say when it's all said and done, you'll probably see another 2 to 3 players on stage.
I think one of our struggles when we were putting the set together was like we like to be interactive with the crowd. We want to be able to move around and stuff, and it's tough because we only have 2 other instrumentalists, so we have to kind of play guitar, electric guitar, whatnot to fill it up. So the more players we can get, it kind of will free us up to be able to move around.
What do you think about the head mic? Should I do a head mic? Because I play the most.
Should we do the
No,
Garth
because
mic?
Should I do the
Russell
Garth mic?
Dickerson has started using the
I
head
know.
mic.
He's done it.
He's done it.
It's kind of vibey. I feel
Could
like
all
I
3
can
of you
move.
do it? Because if all 3
No,
of you do
not-
it, I don't think
not all 3
you
of
do
us.
it. No.
It could be his thing.
Not all 3 of us. Garrett
my
plays.
God.
Garrett doesn't play as much as me. I'm the one who has to be
Here's the thing.
fixated the whole
It's
time.
really risky. If Garth wasn't Garth, I think he would look like a fool with it. I think the reason Russell Dickerson pulls it off is because he's jacked, so you don't want to get into a fight with him. Like,
So you're
it's
saying that
a
I couldn't
risky
do it?
move.
Look at
But
So,
now I'm
so
thinking
it
about this.
would work
You-
for me since I'm also jacked.
because of all the
Yeah,
push-ups.
yeah.
I actually think it could work. It's just interesting. Try it out.
Listen, I think didn't Rascal Flatts, didn't Jay and Jodon use
They
them at
did.
some point in
They
time?
did actually at one point in time.
Okay,
You're right about
and
that.
see,
actually.
I'm
They
thinking
did.
because if
Yeah.
because I literally play almost every song.
Yeah.
I'm the one who plays the most of all of us, and so it's like it's a lot harder for me to move around because
I think it could be a cool thing. Also, if you're a U2
Give it a
fan,
shot.
The Edge.
Yep.
The Edge wears the
Yep.
because he's got such a big stage and he's got to travel.
Yep.
Give it a shot. I don't want to shoot it down too quickly. Give it a shot. And also, you guys are heading on the road right now in Australia, so you're taking the show to Australia.
We are.
Later
Yeah.
this year, and then you guys are doing Canada,
and then Europe,
and then
in
Europe
January.
in January in the
Yeah.
UK, all with Kane.
All with Kane.
All
yeah.
with Kane, yeah.
So that was
great.
just another instance of shout out to Kane. He's again just given these great opportunities, and we couldn't be more excited. We're super pumped. I mean, I think we can all agree we've missed going out on the road with Kane these last couple months.
Yeah, it's strange
it was
when
fun.
you
Why aren't you out on the road with Kane? What's happening?
Well,
Who's he out with right now?
He
He's
really.
kind of just doing, I think, summer
We have
stuff
2
now.
shows with him next week.
So we hopped off the road with him and we went on our headline tour because that was just important to kind of start that journey
Yeah,
of
you got it,
headlining.
yeah.
And then he brought out Walker Hayes and Ray Lynn and I
We
don't know,
came. We
they
did
crushed
the
it.
Chattanooga show when he did his
Yeah.
hometown show.
I've heard him
we
say
went back and
he's
did
not
that.
going to sign anyone else to this venture until he breaks you guys.
That's what he
That's what he
says.
says.
And, he's still
And
holding to
honestly,
that. He
and
hasn't signed anyone yet.
No, and I
been
truly
3
believe
years.
it. I mean, that's just who Kane is. When he believes in something, he wants to see it through and make sure it happens before he starts putting his
Yep.
hands in other things. So
Here's the thing. So we are running out of time. Do we have 2 more minutes? Do you have to run? We got 2 more minutes here. We're running out of time. Here's what I want to do. I want to try harmonizing one more thing.
All right.
I want to do
Okay.
a 4-part harmony here.
Okay.
What can we do? What's something universal that we're all going to know?
oh,
Is it a hymn? Is it a...
Sing your national anthem.
No. I don't want to do is something like is a Restless Road song. Like I feel like I could jump in on Bar Friends or
Yeah.
something.
oh, hit bar
hit
friends.
the
let me
chorus.
just
Yeah.
pull up the lyrics. Hang
Okay.
on. I can do it, but I'm gonna need the lyrics.
I got.
Cool.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Are the lyrics online? If I can get the lyrics,
Yeah,
I
the
can- I
lyrics
can do
are
it.
online.
You get the high
Okay.
harm or you hit the
you-
harm?
No,
I'll hit the octave. He can hit the melody.
What
right?
I'm
he
gonna
wants
do-
us to harmonize with him.
No. I just want to feel. I
join in.
so
want
me and you will do the melody.
You and I. If someone can
We'll
do the
be
melody
melody.
with me,
you
that
I
would be
will,
ideal.
and then they'll hit the harmonies.
So I'm gonna listen to you. Can you
Okay.
give me like a reference note or something?
I got
word. Wait,
There we go.
wait,
that's
You're
it.
right. You're right.
I
Where's
got
the
work friends,
and I got church friends.
I got hometown, grew up on the same red dirt friends, and I got great friends, and I got fake friends. I got girls that wanna try, but we can't stay friends. Yeah, all in all, I'd say that life's been good to me so far, but you know where I go when it gets hard. Out with my bar friends. One more down. Yeah, out with my bar friends. Woo!
That was really
Bro,
good.
That actually sounded good.
That was
as
really
hell,
good.
Dude.
Part of me is like, I'm gonna listen
Part
back
4,
to
man.
that, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god. But I think that was good.
If I'm ever sick on that melody, bro, I'm calling
we're
you.
calling
bro.
you.
I'd actually like to take a month off if you just want to hop in.
Yeah, dude. Hey,
I'm in.
I'm taking a 30-day sabbatical.
I'm down. Restless Road. We got Zach. We got Colton. We got Garrett. Thank you guys for coming to the Chase studio on the show. These guys are hitting on the road. Their single's out right now on country radio. Check it out. Give it a listen. These guys are big. They're going places. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks
Talk
Thanks
to
for
you soon.
having us.
dude.
We had a blast.
Dude, that was so much fun. You're so good.